to Tech Total Access. I'm Hannah Billings.
And I'm Darius Miles. On today's show, we'll be recapping games from each and every one of our Hokie sports teams. The baseball team beat 4th-ranked Florida State in a tight defensive battle on Friday, winning the game 3-2 at English Field. After both teams stranded 2 runners in the first inning, Florida State had a chance to get on the board in the second. With 2 outs and runners on the corners, FSU tried a double steal, but Seth Miller was thrown out at the plate to preserve the scoreless tie. Florida State's starting pitcher walked off 3 of the first 4 batters he faced in the third to help the Hokies get going. With 2 outs and runners on first and second, Mark Zagunas hit a single up the middle to bring home Gary Schneider to get Tech on the board. The Hokies added a pair of runs in the fourth. Sean Keselika doubled in a pair of runners. Schneider followed with an RBI single to score Keselika and put Tech up 3-0 at the end of the fourth. With no outs in the top of the 6th, the Seminoles put their only runs on the board when DJ Stewart hit a 2-run homer. Tech starter Brad Markey went the distance for the Hokies, recording his second complete game of the year. He allowed just the 2-run homer and was helped by his defense the entire night. With 1 out in the 9th, Florida State had a man on third after a double. However, pinch hitter Casey Smith lined a ball towards Chad Pender, who snagged it, then dove towards third base to get the double play to end the game. The team completed its series against the Seminoles on Saturday.
On Saturday, the Hokies took on Florida State for the second and third time after taking home the win Friday night against the Seminoles. In their first game, the Hokies lost a close one 11-10, but turned it around in the next game, beating Florida State 8-1 to wrap up the series. It was the team's first ever series win over a top 5 team on English Field. The Hokies struggled to get a jump start in the first game that featured 8 pitchers, 6 errors, and 13 unearned runs. Joey Mantipley won the second game for the Hokies, lasting 6 innings, only allowing 6 hits and 3 walks. In the first game, the Seminoles plated 5 unanswered runs just in the first inning. The Hokies finally tried to make a comeback, scoring 1 run in the second and tying the game in the fourth, but that momentum faltered as Florida State barely won. In the second game, the Hokies remained scoreless for the first 3 innings. However, Tech broke through with a key 2 RBI double from Andrew Rash. 4 more insurance runs in the 7th and another from a Rash double helped seal the Hokies' victory. The team played again this week when they took on Virginia Commonwealth University this Tuesday.
In that game, the baseball team beat the Rams 11-5 behind a pair of home runs by Chad Pender and a 3-run shot by Tyler Horan. VCU actually opened the scoring in the game, doubling in a pair of runners to take a 2-0 lead. Then, Pender and Horan took over the Tech offense, with Pender hitting a 2-run homer in the first. Horan knocked in 2 with a double in the third, and then Pender went yard again in the 5th as the Hokies took a 5-2 lead. Jake Joyce tossed 3 innings of scoreless relief to keep the Rams subdued. Sean Keselika followed with a scoreless 6 before VCU struck again in the 7th. VCU hit a 2-run homer to cut the lead to just a single run at 5-4. Tech responded with 4 insurance runs in the home half of the 7th, 3 on a Horan home run. Clark Labaton tossed the final 2 innings for Tech scoreless and struck out a pair of batters. The Hokies returned to the field on Friday for a 3-game series with NC State.
The 24th-ranked softball team dropped a tough 3-2 game against North Carolina Friday night at Anderson Stadium. The loss overshadowed a record night for Amanda Ake, who tied a school record with 2 home runs on the night. Tech scored first, plating a run in the 3rd inning on Ake's leadoff home run to right center field. However, the Tar Heels took the lead in the bottom of the 4th inning on a 2-run home run. Ake tied it up in the 5th with a mammoth shot to left, but a 2-out, 2-strike solo home run won it for the Tar Heels. Kelly Hines went 5 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Jasmine Harrell pitched the last inning, striking out 2 and giving up a hit. Tech finished their 3-game series with the Tar Heels on Saturday.
In those games, the softball team split with North Carolina, winning the first game 7-6, but unfortunately losing the second 5-1. In the first game, the Hokies got started fast when Kylie McGoldrick hit a 2-run homer. However, the Tar Heels responded, scoring 2 runs of their own to tie the game. Then, Tech took the lead in the third off a solo home run from Courtney Lill, but UNC stole the lead in the bottom of the inning when they scored 3 runs. In the 5th inning, Tech came back, scoring 3 runs to take a 6-5 lead. McGoldrick hit her second home run of the game in the 6th inning to put the Hokies up by 2 going into the final inning. North Carolina hit a solo home run in the 7th inning, but the Hokies were able to hold them off and finish the game up 7-6. Kelly Hines picked up the win on the mound, going 4 innings and allowing 1 run on 3 hits with a walk and 6 strikeouts. In the second game, the Hokies struggled and did not score until the 6th inning, when Logan Spall hit an RBI triple and drove Cat Banks home. North Carolina scored 2 runs in the third off a home run and 3 more runs in the 5th inning to win 5-1. The team played again on Tuesday when it took on UNCG.
In that game, Cat Banks' 2-run RBI single in the bottom of the 7th inning helped lift the softball team to a sweep of UNCG Tuesday night as the Hokies won 8-1 and 10-9. In the opener, the Spartans scored a quick run in the 1st inning, but the Hokies would roll the rest of the way. In the 3rd inning, Amanda Ake singled in a pair of runs, and then Danny Anderson drove in Banks to make it 3-1. In the 5th inning, BK Smith singled to plate Ake, and then Banks cleared the bases with a 3 RBI double to the gap to make it 7-1. Jessica McNamara drove in Banks with a sac fly to cap the scoring. Jasmine Harrell went 6 innings to pick up the win. She allowed a run on 5 hits with 6 strikeouts. The second game was a wild affair as the 2 teams combined for 19 runs and 22 hits. Once again, UNCG scored first, but the Hokies responded once again. Logan Spall drove in McGoldrick and then Little, and then Spall executed a double steal to give Tech a lead. In the second, McGoldrick grounded out to plated Betty Rose, and then Spall's ground out drove in Smith. UNCG hit a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning to tie it up, and then the Spartans took the lead in the 4th on an infield single. The Hokies then scored 3 runs in the 4th to take a 7-5 lead. Banks drew a bases-loaded walk, and then Ake singled to right field to drive in 2 more runs. In the 5th, the Spartans struck again, this time with a 2-run home run to tie it up at 7, but Spall's RBI in the bottom of the 5th drove in Smith to give Tech the lead once again. In the 6th inning, the Spartans plated 2 more runs to take a 9-8 lead. In the 7th, the Hokies quickly loaded the bases. Banks stepped up and drilled a pitch into left field to drive in McGoldrick and Little to win the game in walk-off fashion. Tech will be back in action this weekend, hosting Georgia Tech in a 3-game series.
The lacrosse team couldn't handle number 3 North Carolina on Saturday as they lost 18-11. Senior Brooke Martin led the Hokies with 3 goals, and 7 different athletes scored for Tech. Tech kept the game close in the first half. The Tar Heels scored in the first 30 seconds of the game, but the Hokies came right back and got on the board less than a minute later when Libby Roseborough scored. Minutes later, Roseborough scored again to give Tech the lead. However, North Carolina came back and scored 2 more goals to take back the advantage. The Hokies then made 4 goals in a row to go up 6-3 and forced the Tar Heels to take a timeout. Coming out of the timeout, North Carolina scored 6 goals in a row. Then, right before halftime, Tech was able to score to keep the game within 2. North Carolina came out of halftime hot and went on a 6-1 run. The deficit was too much for the Hokies to overcome, even though Tech was able to score 2 more goals. North Carolina outshot Tech 36-24, but the draws favored the Tar Heels 16-15. Goalie Alex Gale made 12 saves on the night, which was a season high for her. The team plays again this week, taking on Wednesday at Liberty.
The track team's distance squads competed in the first day of the rally relays held at Paul Durr Track, where they had a lot of success. They picked up 6 top 3 finishes in their sections, including wins from Amanda Smith and Shannon Morton in the 1500 meters. Smith captured Tech's first win on the day in Section 4 of the 1500 meters after setting a new personal record. Not to be outdone, the freshman Morton won Section 3 of the 1500 meters. On the men's side, Ryan Coons finished 6th in Section 2, while Darren Barlow bested Coons' time while finishing 8th in Section 1. The 5,000 meters saw the Hokies place 3 in the top 10 as Paige Vartunis and George Carter came in third in their respective sections. Juan Campos was not too far behind Carter as he came in 8th. Earlier in Section 5, Stuart Robertson took second place. The men's 10,000 meters closed out the night and Thomas Curtin finished just inside the top 10 at 9th place. Next weekend, Tech will split its squad up as one group will head to Gainesville, Florida to compete in the Florida Relays. The other group will stay in state and travel to Williamsburg for the Colonial Relays.
The swimming and diving team finished 20th in the nation during this weekend's NCAA championships at Indiana University. The team tallied 52 points overall, which was just 3 points shy of its program best. Ryan Hawkins was the high finisher of the day. Hawkins was named an All-American after placing third in the preliminaries of the diving competition, the highest finish for the Hokies ever at the national level. In the finals, the junior finished 8th and grabbed the Hokies' final 11 points. He led Tech with 27 points this weekend. Senior Logan Schinholzer capped off his distinguished Tech career with a 9th place finish to earn honorable mention All-America honors. Sophomore Kyle Butts rounded out the divers as he placed 25th to complete his first national championship of his young career. Seniors Zach McGinnis and Greg Mahone also finished their Tech careers at the event. McGinnis finished 40th in the 200-meter backstroke. Mahone finished 36th overall in the 100-meter butterfly. Freshman Michael Zuba was the final swimmer of the day and placed 29th in the 1,600 50-meter freestyle. The Hokies finished higher than 3 ACC schools, including 2013 champion Virginia.
That's all we have for you on this edition of Tech Total Access. Please join us next week for more hard-hitting sports action. As always,
go Hokies!
Are you turned on? Are you turned on?
Are you turned on? VTTV.